All right, all right. Is this thing on? Welcome to the Military Retirement Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome, John. How you doing, John?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Been a little bit busy. Been kind of running around. Almost missed the deadline for today. And
no.
This is an unboxing video.
An unboxing? No, my monitor's all jacked up.
Yeah, man. But yeah, just been running around doing things. Taking a nice break from school, from the university. So. And getting prepped for the holidays, which is going to be a lot of work and a little bit of chill and hopefully a little quiet and peace and all those things.
Oh yeah, man. I love that, dude. It's it always seems to be a lot of work around this time, and it shouldn't be, because I feel like it should be, if anything, a time to relax with family.
Yeah.
And I talked about it with someone last week, right around this time last Sunday. Actually like 2 hours after, and we talked about how we this time of year is so much, it's changed, right? It's so much about consumerism now, and how everybody's kind of running to get everything perfect, and it should be, we're missing the meaning of it.
Yep.
It should be around family and friends and loved ones, instead of going out and getting the latest and greatest gadget and stuff for your kid and all that, and trying to make everything perfect. Nothing's ever going to be perfect.
No,
right? It's okay to have some loose ends. It's okay.
Yeah, it's been it's been a little bit crazy. And of course, I mean, over here, like, I don't get to see the full totality of the American way of life. I get like a little small chunk of it encapsulated into a base. But you definitely see it when you go on base. You see it when you go on the housing areas and all that stuff. So.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, it's nothing but, well, I'll put it this way. When I lived overseas, if you want to get any kind of immersion into the culture, you have to go off base, because everybody on base is just either speaking English or they're just, it's all about the American traditions, right?
Yeah.
And then when you go off base, it's all about, I mean, this was in Japan, then you see the Japanese traditions and things like that. So if you really want to get immersed, you got to stay off base, I think. But it's good to see that stuff. Hey, you know, even if you're homesick, it's good to go on base and check that stuff out.
Yep. Navy Cop.
Morning.
12 Bravo 10.
Says, almost thankful I am underemployed so that the consumerism doesn't affect me as much. A little bit of FOMO, because
silver lining, right?
Anything right now. Yeah. Well, I see where he's coming from. I mean, I've always been kind of a frugal guy. Never really wanted to buy a lot of stuff or surround myself with too much stuff. And lo and behold, I'm drowning in stuff right now. So I'm slowly getting stuff out to the Goodwill and Salvation Army that I don't need, because I just don't want to. I like to live simpler. I like to know that if I needed to pick up and go, I could just pick up and go. But that's not the reality for a lot of folks. If you've ever watched Hoarders on like TLC, I'm not to that point by any means, but
yeah,
I've seen people like that. I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? You're drowning in stuff. 12 Bravo 10, welcome. Good to have you, buddy.
So yeah, what are we talking about today? Talking about EDC, everyday carry.
Man. Everyday carry, dude. I watch a lot of stuff on EDC because I'm always switching my stuff around. I always find something new, and I'm like, you know what? Let me carry this for a while, and then half of the time I go reverting back to what I had before.
Yeah,
because I'm like, okay, well, this is really all I needed. I didn't need 18 different knives. This one will do, Yeah. And I have like 18 knives, but there's one I always go back to, and that is my true EDC. So I can share a little bit about that. But not just like knives and all that stuff, like prep gear and all that trash. It's also about regular stuff that you take with you on a daily basis that you don't really know. I didn't really catch on to what I bring with me on a daily basis until one day I reached in my back pocket and I was like, I hope I have it with me. Okay, I do have it with me.
Yep.
And that's when I realized I always carry this everywhere, right? Like I always reach for it for some reason. It's always there by my side. So there's a couple of items here, and we're going to touch on them a little bit.
Yeah.
Specifically, how it went from what I carry in uniform to what I carry now,
Right.
especially living here in California, which I can't carry much of anything.
Yeah, and I've actually expanded my list of things out to not just things that I carry on me, like in my backpack or in my pockets, but also things that I generally put my hands on at least every single day. So around the house kind of stuff as well,
Right.
that I use on a continual basis, always have a use for it, and it's always came in handy, and it's never left me hanging. Like I go to reach for it to grab to do whatever I need to do, and it's just not working, or it's broke, or it's something like that. Like they've always been tried and true things that I've been able to use on a daily basis.
Yeah. So I guess let's kick it off, man. So I figure I guess we're going to do a couple pieces from both our sides. And there's I guess you can kick it off if you'd like, and then we can just talk about it, and then we can switch over to my side.
Yeah. I think we could go back and forth, and then also maybe
Yeah.
give like if there's an interesting story behind it or some context behind it
Absolutely.
behind that piece. So let me see what I want to start with first.
It's like Christmas, man. It's like the unwrapping.
I know, right? I'm gonna save the best for last, but let me
And I'm also curious too, if there's something that folks are watching that is their go-to piece of gear, that has been their go-to piece of gear for 2025. Please put it in the comments. I'm very curious about what everybody else is carrying as well.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start off with this piece right here. That's basically my everyday carry, all day, every day, and it's been that way for the last 30 something years, ever since I was in the military, and then even transitioning out to civilian life. Is this fucking belt? I can't tell you how many times. It's a web belt, and it's just the basic one. They have those $80-$90 ones with the crazy funky flaps and buttons on them and shit. But this one right here is just a basic web belt. Now I've got these in multiple colors. I've gifted these out to many people that I care about, who I know that work in like oil fields and do all kinds of stuff. And if they don't already have something like this, and they complain about a belt, then I immediately go get one of these, and I give it to them, whether I get it out of my stash or I go buy a brand new one or whatever. Depends on where I'm at. But this belt these things are indestructible. At least I haven't been able to destroy one yet.
I love that stuff, man. So I've worn that throughout my entire Marine Corps career, because we have the Marine Corps martial arts thing, and it's all web belts, right? That's what you wear in the Marine Corps. And during the end of my career, or during the middle of my career, because I got my black belt around 8 years in, and then I would just continuously just work on that stuff. So I know all about web belts. I like them a lot. They're very useful. If you need to tie something down, they're there, especially if they have the little Velcro thing on it. You can hold them there. And I like it. I like the belts, and the belt is actually on my list as well. I took off my belt, but I put my leather one here.
Yeah.
Right. And there's a good reason for this, right? For one, it holds up your pants, because I cannot stand seeing people walking around with the pants off their ass. I can't freaking stand that.
Crack vision.
Dude, I see that and I'm like, do you not know where that came from? Like, do you not know like the story behind that originated in like prisons,
Yeah.
It's not a good thing. But
Not a good look.
no, it's no, it definitely isn't a good look. And I don't know how the pants stay up. I don't know. You got to tighten the belt. I suppose you need a belt, right?
Yeah.
Sergeant Stacking, good morning. Good morning. So same as you. I love that. And I've gone through probably, different iterations of belts. There's certain belt companies out there that I'm looking at that make like extra thick belts, because I just handed my belt over to my son. He was like, he liked it.
For good reasons, I hope.
Yeah. He liked it. And well, for one, his belt, I don't know what the hell he did with his belt. My kid's just about my size. And I'm like, look, dude, just take my old belt. I've had it for like 10 years It's not cracking at all. It's really thick leather. I bought it from some company online. This dude that makes them by hand, and I'm like, you know what? It's lasted. It really has. And I'm trying to find this dude's stuff, and it's so faded that the logo's gone on it. So I'm like, I can't even tell who it is. But I went out and bought this belt. Right? This is a Smith's belt, and I'm a big fan of the leather belts, dude, because for one, they keep your pants up, and for two, and this is going back to the military mentality of it, right? It is a weapon of opportunity, a weapon of opportunity. So if I find myself in a spot, and again, being here in California, you cannot like open carry or anything like that, right? And there's limitations on like knives and all that stuff, right? Not that I'm trying to go and stab somebody or shoot somebody or anything like that, but that's not the intent, right? But for self-defense, if it came down to it and I did not have anything, and something, maybe I couldn't punch, I couldn't do something, I would take off my belt, I'd wrap it around my hand, and that would be a weapon of opportunity. I'd swing it at somebody's jaw, something to that effect. But there's several uses for this, and I always told folks, always wear a belt, because you never know when you're going to need something, not just to pull up your pants, but to kind of defend yourself and do something about it.
Yeah, that's why I love that web belt so much too, because you can not only use it for that, but if you need to like potentially save somebody's life, like these little web belts, leather belts as well, they work in miraculous ways in different situations. And that's why I stick with the web belt, because I've had, like, I started off with, I think maybe the tan one or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And eventually moved to black. But these things, like, you could damn near strap a car up and tow a car with one of these. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And when I think about the belts, I think about was it that zip lining? It always goes back to that. Yeah. Mind you, I think a leather belt would snap over a steel line, but that's
you
what
get
I
a few
think
feet.
about. I'm like, yeah, you can get somewhere. It might not be to safety, but somewhere. So yeah, I like that. The belt. Let me put that on my list here.
Excellent.
All right. What you got next, man?
Well, two different things, but they fall in kind of the same category, I guess.
Yeah.
I do have, so I carry a lot of cards, whether it's my personal credit cards, bank cards, ID cards, and all that kind of stuff. And I've got two different ways of carrying cards. I have 4 specific cards that I have to keep with me for work all the time, every day, all day, every day. And I want them in a secure place where they're not going to generally get lost unless I forget to put them back in, and I can do a quick, easy count. This particular card holder, it's from Govo, G-O-V-O, and it basically just holds 4 cards. It's a plastic case. It's got a little metal clip screwed onto the back of it. I don't know if I can do this magic so you can see it. But basically, it holds 4 cards. It's got a really nice metal clip with a clip that you can clip onto your belt if you wanted to, or clip it onto something else. You could put a little carabiner on there or something. This thing is really, really tough. I've banged it around in my bag. I've thrown it around in the office and dropped it a few times. I have 2 of these. So this is kind of like my backup, where I keep cards that I do need, but I don't generally need on a daily basis. And I just keep this one hanging on my wall at home. The other one stays in my pocket. And then on the second iteration of that, and you can find these actually in probably online on Amazon, but you can definitely get them if you're near a base. Most of the exchanges on base you can find. Yeah, so they're a company called Night Eyes, Nite Ize, and it's probably familiar to anybody who's been in the military in the last 10 years. They make a bunch of carabiners, a bunch of really cool clips and stuff that I have a bunch of those, but I really like this like 2-piece card holder with the little rubber band thing around it. The rubber band is the only part of it that just doesn't really hold up so well, but it holds up good enough for long enough. But this thing also doubles as a ruler. It's got 2 different screwdriver tips on it. It's got a nail puller on it. It's got a bottle cap built into it. So you can actually take this thing apart and use it as a multi-tool. But it serves as a really nice, basic, simple wallet where you can stick all your cards in there. And I keep about, 15 cards in here stacked. Carry it with me every single day. And I like that I've got most of my cards on my phone now, so I don't have to necessarily pull the cards out every time I want to use them.
That's a good thing.
I like to have the physical cards with me whenever I can. And these little extra tools are nice whenever you need a little thing to pry something open or unscrew something quickly. So
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Well, I will. I also carry a wallet everywhere I go. Right. I've gone through different iterations of it. It used to be a little like just a card holder with a money clip. And then for Christmas, last Christmas, I got one of these guys because I kept losing my wallet. I'm always looking around the house, right? And my wife is like, "Hey, you may need somewhere to track this trash, right? Because you're always fucking running around with your head cut off."
Yeah.
So it's one of these guys with a little Apple thing on there, the Apple tracker or whatever. So it works well. I like it. The only thing is, it's fairly thick. So I don't always carry it with me. I do have a little card holder up there. But within this card holder, there's something that I always carry with me within this wallet. And I never leave home without, ever. And it is my military ID card.
Yeah.
That is always on me at all times, right? So within this wallet, and this has like a money holder and all that stuff, money clip. I barely use it because I barely carry cash anymore. It's always like the tap or something like that. But whenever I'm glad that there's a little money clip in here. It doesn't have like the traditional like opening piece on here that you put cash and stuff in. But I don't carry that many cards, man. I've got like 4 cards. That's it. Something fairly easy.
I got a question for you. Do you carry it in back pocket or front pocket?
When I have, so let me show you this one that I got. Hold on. This one is a very thin leather wallet, right?
Yep.
This is just a card holder. This one I got from Jarhead Leather. The same guy that does like the notebooks and all that, the active duty gunnery sergeant. So this one I'll carry in my front wallet because this one, or my front pocket, because this one only is 2 or 3 cards that I have in there. But because this one here is so thick, like thick leather, I'll carry this one in my back pocket, which I've stopped doing many years ago because of, the way you sit, and it really alters the, your spine and all that. So I try to carry these on there, but I also, if I'm out running, my phone case, I'll keep stuff in my phone case, like cards in my phone case. It's not made for that, but I can fit like 2 cards in there. All I really need is what?
In between the phone and the case itself.
Yeah. All I need is like 2 cards, if anything. Yeah. So that's me, man. That's the wallet thing. Maybe for next year, 2023, I'm also looking at a new wallet too. So we will see. We'll see what comes up.
Yeah, I'm scared to death of this thing if I had it in my back pocket, of actually anything in my back pocket falling out of my back pocket, because I ride, not only do I sit in chairs and pants for, 2 or 3 centuries haven't been made correctly for whatever reason. The pockets are just completely screwed. I haven't worn a pair of pants yet where I don't lose stuff out of the pocket if I'm sitting at a certain angle. But I'm so afraid of this popping out of my back pocket and like falling on the ground, and I don't notice it. So I basically generally keep all my stuff for whatever reason, whether it's money, cards, keys. I keep everything in my front pocket. The only thing I put in my back pocket is my phone, and that's when I'm walking around. Other than that, everything stays in the front pocket.
See, I don't like carrying the phone in the back in the front pocket. Something about it. I don't like.
No,
I
it stays in the
hate
back pocket.
down to the people. Yeah. I like carrying the phone in the back pocket.
Yeah.
Also, what do you think about the phone, the belt clip making a comeback? What do you think about that?
I was a fan when they first came out, the little clip holster things for the phones. What was it, like Otterbox was making those
Otterbox,
cases?
those things are huge, dude. It's like a brick.
Blew up. It adds like 4 inches to your phone thickness. So that, and then you've got the clip holder thing, which is on the side, and you can, some of the fancy ones, you can like turn it sideways and make it go the other direction, vertical or horizontal.
Or just like spin it when you're trying to show off.
Even before we had TikTok, it was doing vertical. So I'm not a real fan of those now. I even had, maybe I can just whittle this in and transition into this next thing, but I do have a clip. It's actually, let me grab it.
And real quick, Josh C. PNW says, is that Josh Cantrell? I can't tell.
Could be.
He says, no, no belt
Bringing
clip.
him back.
I don't know. I mean, I am in my 40s. I feel like maybe it's like issued, isn't it? Isn't it issued to you when you're in your 40s, a belt clip?
No, no, sorry. It's issued to you when you're a GS 12 or above who likes to wear suits and ties to work and be important.
That's right. I freaking
And
hated
you
that
may
thing.
also carry a BlackBerry in your back pocket alongside of your iPhone, right?
Oh no, hell no. I had that iPhone, and I'm on the fence that the iPhone as a federal employee is worse than carrying the government phone as a military service member, because of the random shit, and you always had to be on call. It felt like I always had to be on call.
Yeah.
So, but over the dumbest crap, right? So, yeah, it is issued to you, by the way, the actual little clip.
Yeah. So speaking of clips and maybe bringing it back to clips, I don't know if that's going to ever happen, but you can see here on my backpack, I have a little clip on the side here. And basically this clip is part of a bigger line of products. So I actually did one of my projects for school for one of my marketing classes on this particular brand. The brand's called Quadlock. Of course, none of these things we're talking about are affiliated, sponsored, or anything like that. I mean, if you want to get a link from us, we can throw it up and you can click and make us millions of dollars or whatever. But this thing is basically the base of what all their other mounts do. So that was going to be my next everyday carry. This is probably one of the best cases that I've ever used in my life. I got it out of necessity because in Sicily, of course, when you're driving around, I used to use magnetic mount holders, and those work fine if you have regular smooth roads. But when you're driving over cobblestones and like stuff like that,
right,
my phone just kept falling down. At some point, I was like, you know what, this is enough. So I went and did some research. I found this company, Quadlock, and
I've heard of them.
I want to say I saw it on a video somewhere, and I was like, that's what I need. Maybe it was like Mighty Car Mods or something like that. Shout out to Mighty Car Mods. But this thing has a locking mechanism. So you basically put it on an angle and then you twist it and it locks it into place. And then it's got that little release handle thing. So since getting this, I've actually added a car mount to the window, which has got like this super heavy duty suction cup thing. And I've tested it in, 100-degree weather here in Sicily in the sun. It just works really, really well. I lock my thing in there. It's got charging built into it, so I can just charge it. And then I also got an additional, like a USB plug-in thing for the stereo in the car, so it does wireless Apple Play or Google Play or whatever.
Oh yeah.
So their whole ecosystem, and this case is really, and even better than that, like the thing got really, really hot one day, I guess maybe, and it melted kind of like the side of the case. And so I sent an email out to the company. I was like, hey, this is what's going on. They're like, send us a couple of pictures and just let us know what happened and we'll get back with you. I sent them a couple of pictures. Within 2 days, they're like, you got a new phone case. It's on the way. Don't worry about sending us the old one back.
Oh, right on.
We got your back. We got you covered. We appreciate you being a customer. And yeah, really great company.
Well, what's that called again?
Quadlock, Quadlock. They even got
Sounds
this
like
cool
customer
little
service too. It's good.
Oh
too.
yeah, it's bonkers. They're based out of Sydney, Australia, I think, maybe, or maybe it's New Queensland, somewhere in southeast Australia, near Sydney. Yeah, and even like this little keyring thing, like it's a little, those little popper things that they put on the back of phones, or these little key lock things.
Oh, nice.
This one just twists in whenever you don't have it in your holder. You can just twist that in and stick it on there. Amazing.
I like that, man.
Yeah.
And it's funny that Navy cop is calling you out here. It says that thing on your backpack. It looks like you stole the backpack and never took the tag off. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, you might be right. We'll never know.
He runs fast.
I'm not snitching on myself. It's not going to happen.
Oh, damn. All right. I like that. I carry a Peak Design what is it? Clip on my backpack. This is like when I go to travel, right? I carry also that for I have a Fuji camera that I like taking photos with. I just love the Fuji color science. So I stuck with Fuji all these years, and I carry it right here. Like it goes right there. I don't have it with me. I took my backpacks to the garage. I carry it right there, and I love it. Right, just press the button, snaps right off, take photos, put it back.
It's like the
Very
what
cool.
is it? The P38 quick release, I think it's called.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good quick release, and it has a little lock on there too. So like,
Yep.
if somebody goes to like rip it off your, your shoulder or whatever, it doesn't come off. So pretty good piece of gear. Let me see. Let me move on to something that I mentioned that I do reach for every single day. And you will be hard pressed to find me without one of these, either with me in the car or out when I'm walking around or something like that. And I specifically switched from a full size one to a smaller one because I wanted it to be more accessible. And I talk a lot about it here. And it is a notebook. I go everywhere with this thing. It was this one here. I mean, different iterations, right? I've had like the full size, the A6 or whatever, A5, A6, I think it is, sized of journal that I used
Yep.
to carry with me, and I'm like, I don't want to be carrying this thing everywhere, so let me just leave this one at home. But I did go with this one, kind of as a go-to piece of gear, right? It has everything I need in there, like all my little flags and all that stuff, little pen and all that, pockets, all that good stuff, right? Stuff back here, got highlighter. This is like when I go to church, I'll take this one here. But everywhere else, I got this guy with me. It's really thin. Sometimes I'll take this device, my wallet, and I'll just throw some cards in this card holder that I had the owner of Jarhead Leather sew in for me. Usually
Nice.
there's no pocket in here. I'm like, dude, can you make me a pocket? I'd like to carry stuff. And that's where I carry my, business cards and all that stuff. So I like writing down things on paper, not on the phone. If I don't have to, I won't do it. The phone is nice because it does have the notes app. I barely use the voice app and all that stuff, but that is nice. But I'm trying to stay away from having to go on the phone all the time and just use it as a phone and to contact family and friends if I need to. This is my go-to piece of gear here where I write just like random notes and stuff, whatever's going on through the day. Hey, I don't like the way that dude looks in line. He looks shady. I'm writing this trash down, just observations, things like that. So good piece of gear. I'm going to get a hold of this dude from Jarhead Leather. He's still serving. He's active duty in Virginia, and see about getting some more of these little Green Logbook things because I do like them, and they're good leather, man. They're like thick leather. So big fan of that one.
Yeah, I go back and forth on the note taking. I've been recently taking not the small index cards, but the
I made it sound like a pistol, right? But
this one's got the holster and it's got where you put the extra bullets. No, I go back and forth on the notes taking, and I've been taking the large size, the double size, I guess, index cards, not the small ones.
yeah,
And then folding them in half and using the front and back, and then flipping them over and using the front and back for that, because I feel like I can put a little bit more stuff on it and turn it sideways and put more
Right.
stuff on it when I do write stuff down. So I've been using those lately for just quick notes. But my everyday carry for pretty much everything, note taking, keeping track of documents, and everything else that I do, including, and probably one of the reasons why I got it was because when I started doing school again, my wife noticed I was doing a lot of stuff on the computer. She had picked up an iPad with the Apple Pencil, and she said
Nice.
it was the best thing she's ever experienced. And she does a lot of writing by hand and in paper as
Yeah.
well, just like myself. So she was like, yeah, you should get one. You should give it a try. I think it would help you out with your school stuff and give you a little bit more space to be more organized. And it has helped a ton, not only with my school stuff, but with everyday stuff that I need. Plus it doubles as like a little entertainment center if I'm stuck somewhere, if like maybe the car breaks down or whatever, or the bike, whatever happens. So that was going to be my next thing. It's like a twofer. is the iPad. Any kind of iPad, the newer ones like the M chips, I would recommend, because you get the best use of the software. If you want to start using like the Apple Intelligence and AI stuff, it's built in with the newer chipsets. And then the Apple pencils, they get a little bit expensive. They're kind of pricey, but I think if you looked hard enough, you could probably find one of these used for a lot less than you would pay for them new. And these two combined, like I wasn't sure that the writing experience on this would be so great. And my wife also gave me a huge tip on that. She gave me a screen protector, but basically it's a textured screen protector, so it gives you the feel of
E-paper.
like paper. Yeah. So that combined with the iPad, combined with the pencil, and I use an app called GoodNotes. I can maybe show it to you. But basically it's you go in here and you can basically write down everything. I hear some Italian notes from class that I took. You just write it all down in here. You can copy and paste images into it. You can do a ton of stuff on it, and then you can go from here straight to your laptop if you need to, or go to the phone or whatever, and you have that stuff available.
That's all cloud-based.
I think it will actually. Yeah, it's cloud-based. You got to pay a little bit for it. I think it's a one-time, or maybe it's a once-a-year thing. It's not too terribly expensive. And then the other part of that is with the notes taking. I've been taking a lot of notes lately with ChatGPT and Gemini, because of the fact that I can keep those conversations in there, and I can label them, and I can go back and revisit them, and pick up where I left off. So it's kind of like if me and you have a phone call or a text message or whatever, it's that asynchronous communications, and I can just scroll back up if I need to find out where I left off, or if there was something that I left, like a dangling, modifier in one of my sentences as far as a thought was concerned. And I can just go back and revisit and rehash. And if I come up with something new for that particular idea, I can go back and readdress it in ChatGPT or Gemini. I've been doing a ton of stuff in there as far as notes go. So the electronic is definitely my go-to, because I generally don't spend a ton of time on my devices either way. But I have been using the bigger index cards and just folding them in half. I use a little bitty 0.5 millimeter, 0.3 millimeter maybe pen, so I can write stuff really small and hopefully still be able to read it with my old SS.
So I like that you brought up the iPad, because I have the same thing. I got the e-paper with the Apple Pencil. I have the 12-inch iPad Pro, and then I went from the regular iPad, right, and then gave that one to my kid a while back. Ended up going with the iPad Pro because they had one. I buy all my Apple stuff at the Navy Exchange. Why?
Okay.
Because they have this that there's a discount, but there's also a they have extended a case service. No, they got a case there that's like, these are refurbished, or these are like returns or whatever. And I've had nothing but great experiences purchasing those, because you can still put Apple Care on them, right? Yep. And I purchased several products there, and where the iPad was like $1,000, something like that when it first came out. I ended up paying like $700 because it was an open box thing. It was open box, so I opened the box because it was already open, and I checked it out. I was like, this is excellent, right? It's behind like you got to get an associate or whatever, a customer service rep to open it up for you. But I love the iPad. I love what you're doing with it, because I do the same thing with it, and I know exactly what you're talking about. The e-paper that gives you the texture. The only thing with that is every so often you're going to have to buy new nibs for your Apple Pencil, because it does kind of like wear them down a little bit. But I mean, a lot of writing to do that. So excellent choice.
Yeah, my wife actually, speaking of the nibs real quick before you get into the next thing, my wife actually went on, she goes and does a lot of shopping on Temu and orders a lot of random stuff and some useful stuff and some stuff that she just likes. And she found a bunch of like 5 and 10 nib sets that she would order, and they had all these different kinds of like ballpoint mimics a ballpoint, or it mimics one of the, like, it was weird, but some of the tips are pretty cool. But go through tips on them for sure.
I like that. The Good Notes app, and I use a lot of Procreate because I do a lot of like artwork and stuff. So a lot of touching up photos and all that. So very cool. I wanted to touch up on what Boston Rob had mentioned on there. Let me grab this.
B Rob, what's up?
So he mentioned how about those issued green memoranda notebooks. I miss those. They were durable. Yes, absolutely. And I'm gonna give you a little glimpse at what I carried while I was in uniform. Probably I created this probably when I was 10 years in, and I've been carrying it for the last 10 years while in uniform. Here, let me fit this thing in here so I can show exactly how this thing works. Again, I haven't used this in so long. I kind of stash it away.
You know, they don't make these things out of hard canvas anymore on the outside of these books. It's like
it's kind of like a
paper thing.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Sucks.
All right, so this is something I carried around with me for about 10 years while I was in the Marine Corps. I went to the quarter sales, the uniform sales, and I bought a pair of old camis. Somebody was, they were just selling camis there, camouflage gear. I bought some, and I was like, and they were like ripped in the back. So I'm like, oh wait, well, this one's probably been sitting there for a while. Nobody's going to use this. It's unserviceable anyway. So let me cut off the pocket portion of it. And actually you can see like my stitching and stuff on here. I sewed it all on. And this was just a Write in the Rain notebook, right? And this is where I carried all my stuff for the longest time, for like 10 years. Paper clips and, just random little drawings and shit in the back. And then the pocket came in handy too, because I would never have to carry stuff in my own pockets. I would just put like my cell phone in there, or, if they give me something at the base theater, hey, here's whatever it is, back in the saddle training, whatever, here's a pamphlet, throw that thing in there. But yes, good piece of gear. I love this thing, still durable. It's Write in the Rain, right? So they got good products anyway. So Boston Rob, there you go. The memoranda notebooks, aka I think you're talking about the Green Logbooks, or are you talking about?
He's talking about the big one, the full size, like 8.5 by 11 ones, I think, because those are the ones that say memorandum on them. Memorandum for record. Record memos.
I just gave one to my kid, but there's like a little green one like this, little memoranda ones. Look like little address books. I used to carry those around as well. So, but yeah, the Green Logbook and little memoranda book, awesome stuff. Take notes in. I love those things. I still have a stack of Green Logbooks that I purchased many, many years ago, and they're sitting in my garage. I'm like, I just got to find time to use them, because like they were in a box. I was moving stuff around, and like, oh shit, I have all these.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, I still have like all my stacks of lecturums and all that, and moleskins and stuff that you get. But yeah, my next thing that I carry with me every single day is honestly a pen. This one is a Skillcraft Pilot B2 pen. Okay, I like it, and I have a couple of them. I like it because it has a pencil, it has a black pen and a blue pen. The other one I got has a red pen on it. So good little piece of gear. I love this thing. I always find that I go back to this simple one, right? And they're probably like $20. I got this one at the supply store when I was still active duty, and I just buy the refills for it. I love this thing, and when I jump from stuff like I had the Kavico like steel pen and the brass pen on my journals, and I love these things for what they are, right? They're heavy,
yeah,
and they can get lost, and these are not cheap, right? So when they get lost, it really hurts. This one was probably, I don't know, it probably cost you like $15 or so, but it has everything you need, and I always find myself going back to this one for some reason, and that, and then the Pilot G2 pens. So, and the thing is, it fits so neatly in there. I love that. But a good pen, you'll be hard pressed to find me without a pen in my pocket or something. to write with. For one, I go back to like the weapon of opportunity thing, right? Like, okay, well, if I need to, I can stab somebody in the arm or whatever it is to get away.
Yeah.
But it also is a good writing tool. I don't like to use other people's pens when I'm out because, for like, I don't know if they wash their hands after they went to the bathroom. I'm very conscious of that stuff, right? So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, and I carry like the sanitizer shit in my car, but I like to use my own stuff. So I think that is my next one is a good pen.
I got so I discovered these about, I don't know, 5-7 years ago, maybe a little bit
Yeah.
longer ago, on accident. It's a Japanese company called Muji, Muji, and they make all kinds
Heard of
of
Muji,
office
yeah.
supply stuff.
Yeah.
I think they're pretty popular in Japan. I don't know how popular because I haven't been to Japan. You would probably know better than I do.
I've heard of
But
Muji, yeah.
they make these gel ink pens. For one, the gel ink in them is like really, really high quality. It's really good. They're not super, super expensive. They're a few bucks a piece, but you can usually get them online in bulk, a little bit cheaper, and hopefully not get a knockoff that's not great. But the thing I really, really love about them is they're super lightweight. I usually buy them in packs of like 5 or 10. I usually keep a couple in every single place that I could have a place for a pen. And they go down to 0.38 millimeter nib on the tip. So that's very,
That's
very
thin, man.
small. Yeah,
That's
you
thin,
can
yeah.
write really, really tiny with it. I get those in my notebooks. It's generally the dotted graph.
Dot grid, yeah.
Yeah, the dotted grid notation notebooks, and I try to write really, really, really small when I do that, so I can fill up the page as much as possible. But those are some of my favorite ink pens, and they're not super, super expensive, but they're really, really high quality ink pens, and they make them in multiple colors too. So.
Yeah. So I'll tell you, I'm a big fan of. I got spoiled when I went to Japan. There's entire like stationery stores, like a sea of different pens, and I'm a freaking pen snob, dude. I stopped buying so many of them from like Amazon because I've
Yeah.
received like just knockoffs. So I usually get them from Jet Pens. Like I'm
Okay.
not sponsored. We're not sponsored by them or anything, but they have like the biggest selection of like Japanese made pens.
Jet
And for
pens.
some reason, like those are like some of the best ones. Like I have these are German ones, the Kavico ones.
Mhm.
Good piece. This one's brass, man. This thing is a freaking tank, dude. The other one's stainless steel tank. But I like writing in fountain pens when I write in my journals. So big fan of that. I still write in cursive and I practice on my cursive, trying to make it look like Thomas Jefferson or something. Big fan of that stuff, man. But yeah, check out Jet Pens, man, if you're looking to get stuff straight from the source out there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you another thing I carry with me all the time that I love. I've always been a fan of watches. I have a watch collection. It can get costly, so it is a very costly hobby to have, if you call it a hobby, right? A collection. So whenever there's a significant event in my life, I'll look at, hey, look, let me reward myself. Oh, I just got promoted or I just retired. Let me reward myself with a watch, right? But the one that I wear most often, there's two that I wear most often, but the one that I wear the most often, and even during my time in the military, I got this about the time that I pinned on warrant officer, which is in 2011, I want to say, and here it is. It is a Hamilton watch. I don't know if you can see it. It's a Hamilton watch.
Okay.
It's from their it's like an officers collection, like military officers collection that they had on their site at that point. So I like Hamilton because of the history. Their company, their factory stopped making watches and started creating bullets during one of the wars back in the day. So just to help out the cause, their logo, or in all their stores, they had like these World War II planes, like I don't, for some reason they're orange, but I do like them. I added on the strap. It's like one of these NATO straps.
Yep.
Right. So this one gets a lot of compliments. I love this one. You'll find me wearing this one a lot. It's all kind of chipped and stuff. It has all the desk marks and all that. But when I'm not wearing that one, honestly, I'll wear something cheap. And it's either between a Casio G-Shock that I have, or this guy right here, like a Timex twin sensor. For some reason, this one kind of, I like this one for whatever reason. I had one before, and I don't know what happened to it. I lost it, or it stopped working, so I tossed it because I couldn't get it to work. It was like cheaper for me to buy a new one than it was for me to fix it. They're not that expensive. They're like $30, right?
No.
Then I went to a thrift shop and I saw that one of these was for sale for like $2. I was like, that's the one. I want that one, right? So picked it up. It didn't have like the little thing on there to, the little ring to hold it down.
Yep.
So I put like, those rubber silicone rings, whatever, and I
like
put it on there.
ring.
Yeah. So easy, but watches, I'm a big watch snob. I got a Breitling, a Tissot. I'm looking at an Omega right now, which can get a little pricey, but for the most part, this one didn't break the bank. It was like maybe $400, something like that. But I've had it for so many years, and something that I think that I will be handing down to my own child at some point in time. It's the Hamilton khaki field watch is what it's called, the field watch.
Okay. That's what is that? A brushed stainless steel?
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah.
And that's like a 40 something millimeter, 42 millimeter, maybe.
It's about a 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
40.
Yeah. I used to be a really, really into watches a lot. I think the last watch that I owned and wore on a daily basis was my Apple Watch. And it's just because it would keep track of my, my metrics as far as heart rate. And if I went swimming, it would track my swimming miles or laps. It would track all my running and all that stuff when I was running a lot more. That thing finally broke here in the ocean. And I haven't replaced it yet. But I remember talking to a guy, an old retired military guy that I worked with when I was a contractor in Germany. And I asked him about that because he never wore a watch. And I was like, that's weird. And that was just when cell phones were just starting to get a little bit better and bigger, and a lot of people had them instead of just a select few people. And he was like, yeah, after I retired, I just took my watch off. He's like, there's no point in counting the minutes after you retire. Like,
he's got a point.
Too many other things out there to be worried about than worrying about what time it is and when you got to get off work, all that crazy stuff. So, but yeah, I've had my share of a few watches. I don't get into the super. I just watched a little docu series, 60 minutes, like 10-minute thing that they had going on about different Swiss watchmakers, and I think Richard Mille or however you say it was one of them. There was one that started with a P, and some of these watches go for like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And,
like a Patek Philippe.
Yeah, and they only make like, I don't know, 40 watches a year because they hand make every single one of them.
The Patek Philippe's are expensive. They're in the hundreds of thousands. I'm not looking at those at all. that you will never find that in my search history.
Yeah. The one watch that's caught my eye the most actually in the last couple of years, just looking at watches, because I do appreciate them and I do look at them. I don't generally buy them anymore, but the last iteration of the Swatch, they did a collaboration with somebody.
It's Omega.
And they were
with
like the
moon watch.
planets, right? The moon watches. Yeah. Those caught my eye, and I was really kind of hyped about those, but I didn't get one.
They have different colors. I was just looking at those last night. That's funny because I was looking at the Omega Speedmaster, and then they had the collaboration. It's a lot less, right? It's like $250 or something like that. Yeah. But it has the Omega logo on there, and then with the collaboration with Swatch, it's plastic, right? Vice the aluminum or whatever they use for the Omega. It does look cool. I mean, they have in different colors and all that. But I don't know. I mean, it's good for like just to wear it around if you don't want to wear your Omega or
Yeah.
something like that, because Omegas are pretty pricey.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I could not. I tried to get into the Apple Watch thing. I couldn't do it, man. Like I need to have something that's analog. I couldn't do the digital thing. The only digital one I can do is like the cheaper watches that I have, like the G-Shock and all that.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. I had a friend who came in my office one time. When I was stationed in Kaneohe, Hawaii, and I'm talking to this dude. He's sitting there. You know, I'm at my desk. He's sitting there in front of me, and hadn't seen this guy for a while. And it seemed like every 10 seconds, his phone, his watch was going off, and he's like,
"Yep."
And I thought, I'm like, okay, that would ruin my freaking ADHD, dude. That would ruin me. And I'm like, it's hard for me to keep attention on one thing as it is right now. That's why I carry this thing around. I fucking write everything down. But holy crap, man, I could not do it. I was like, man, that's for one, I don't want something constantly alerting me. And for two, I just one more screen, right? I'm done with that. So yeah. Watches, man, big fan of those. They can get pricey and expensive, but you know, I got a little wooden watch thing that I have, and I keep them all in there. And there's some that have automatic movements that gotta keep moving, right? If you don't wear them, you got to either wind them or they get wound when you wear them.
Yep.
But and my little wooden thing, I got these little turning things. I mean, you plug it in, right, and they turn the watch for you. So that way it doesn't lose time. If not, you're constantly having to wear those things. But I've got a good collection. It's there's a pocket watch in there. I bought you might be familiar with the brand. What's it called? Oh, it's a French brand. Gosh. Let me see.
That's probably one watch that I have bought in the last couple of years. Is I found an old couple pocket watches that I bought from maybe a thrift. What was it, like it was like a flea market or something like that, but a flea market in like Europe. And I found a couple really old pocket watches that I bought. Actually, it was probably one of them I bought downtown. Because you can go downtown here and find some really interesting, really old, like old stuff from like World War II and World War I, and even earlier than that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Authentic stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. But I did buy a pocket watch at one point because I did see it. It was like 14 karat gold. And I'm like, I got to get this thing. It looks awesome, right? And when I was out in Japan, I took it to a watchmaker, like this guy, watch repair. And he completely took it apart, cleaned everything, oiled everything up, put it back together. He showed me photos of it. I'm like, this is amazing, man. Like, I was impressed. It's great. It was great. But yeah, the watches, man. Moving on to the next one that I carry all the time. And this one, again, just like the little notebook, you'll be hard pressed to find me without one of these. And that is a pocket knife, a good pocket knife. Right. So I used to carry a larger one. Like I got several of them. I got, like I mentioned, I got like 18 of these guys, SOGs, and I got a couple other ones over there. I used to carry the bigger ones, but being that I do live in California, I cannot carry these. You know, I stopped carrying them because I'm not in uniform. So I don't carry the big ones. So what I do have, I found this small one here, and it's kind of like a cleaver type. It's like a thick blade.
A Tanu blade, right?
Yeah, almost like a Tanto, right? But this thing is legit, dude. I love this thing. It sharpens well. It keeps its the sharpness. It's a Kaiser, and I love the little green handle on here. It's got like I don't know if you can see it. It's got like a good grip on there.
Textured, yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's like pretty easy to open. So I carry this thing everywhere I go. Stays in my pocket. Good piece of gear. And I find that I use it more often than I thought I would. You know, opening up packages or like, you know, anything I need to cut. And if you're in a bind, if you need to cut something, maybe like, hey, you're in a car accident or something like that, and you're stuck in the with the seatbelt on, you got to cut it. Hey, reach for this, cut that thing. Uh, I, I'm a big fan of this. Big fan of the pocket knife. So curious if you carry one yourself, man.
Yeah, I actually had that on my list. Pocket knives. I actually carry one or two or three, depending on um, if I happen to take one out and use it and leave it on the desk or put it in my pocket and leave it in my pants or whatever. One particular knife that I have, and I don't even know if you can get these anymore. My brother actually got these commissioned. He was doing some off-grid stuff, his channel, Off-Grid Gecko, if you want to check it out. He no longer posts videos on there, but he did a lot of stuff on there. He went and bought some property out in the middle of Missouri, built a house on it by himself, put in the foundation, built the walls, built all the windows and doors and everything, put in his own solar and put in his own water catch and water filtration system and like all that stuff. So completely off grid. But he made some really nice knives. He did the research on the metal. I forget exactly what the metal combination is, but this quick action knife, he's got his little logo on there, and it's got a nice feel to it. It's got a nice weight to it. Easy to open and close. This blade, for whatever reason, I wish I knew exactly what the metal was. If he was here, he could tell me. But it's got an interesting kind of like shape to it, and it holds a very good sharpness. It was razor sharp when I got it. I've only like maybe put it on a honing stone a couple times, but other than that, like I've never really sharpened it. It's got a couple nicks in it you can see in the blade. This thing is indestructible. Like I really wish I knew exactly what the metal combination was, but he's a physicist, so by schooling, so he knows all that stuff. But it's got like a little glass breaker on the bottom of it. It's got the belt cutter on the back of it. So it's a really nice knife. I carry this one with me all the time. And then I do have like a SOG and a couple other ones that are really quick open. Just keep them around. This one's super lightweight. It's good for taking wherever, sticking in a bag. I generally have one or two or three laying around at any given time because I need them for cutting, packaging or binding straps or something like that. Or even if I happen to have some sausage and cheese sitting around in a plate, just slice it up. Make sure you clean the blade, of course, you don't get all the gunk on there. But yeah, these things are super, super handy and will get you out of a lot of trouble in a lot of different ways.
Or it could get you in trouble. So be careful.
Get you in trouble. if you combine it with alcoholic beverages, maybe.
Yeah, there you go. So I'll tell you, when I was in Japan, I bought this wood knife, and I went to this little. It was like a Home Depot almost, like an Ace Hardware, right? Like smaller. Yep. It was called Jintendo. It was weird, right? Jintendo. They had everything from tools to bicycles. They had a section where they were selling beetles in a box, right? These little dung beetles. For some reason, kids buy them as pets. Weird, but yeah, it was all new to me. But they had these little contractors' knives, right? Like subcontractors or whatever you call them. They're called Higo no Kami. Higo no Kami. I'll put it up here on the screen. And let me see here. Super sharp. Higo no Kami, very simple knives, right? They're handmade. I'm sure that they've since started making them by factory, right? But then I went to there's like little prefectures, little counties, little towns that specialize in different things, right? And this one was specializing in, or this guy's shop at least was specializing in these, and he would make them by hand. And it was like $17 for one of these little guys, and it was super sharp, right? Very simply made. And when I purchased mine, you see that hole in the back. I put a little lanyard back there because it didn't have a clip or anything. It was just super simple. Yep. But I love this thing, man. I was looking at buying another one of these Higo no Kami knife.
Yeah.
Very
Are
cool
these
stuff.
locking blades, or can you get them either?
No, not locking at all, man. It was just, yeah, it really is. So there's so much tension on the metal that holds the knife, that it doesn't
Yep.
just flip open, right?
Right.
And you can alter the tension. You can make it tighter if you want, right? But
Mhm.
it really is a good piece of gear, and it sharpens really well. So I missed that one. I don't know what happened to it. I lost it in a move, and I'd like to get it back. So I'm thinking about buying another one. I mean, they're like 15, $20 or whatever. I should.
Yeah.
Um, Another thing that I do buy, or that I do use on a daily basis, that well, I carry it with me at least on a daily basis, is a flashlight. A flashlight, you know. So uh, I have several around the house. I have
Yeah.
some in my drawer. I have some, one in the car, one here in the office, you know. And I started carrying them around for some reason. I used to be a bouncer at this nightclub outside Camp Pendleton, and like, to get people to stop doing dumb shit, you would just shine the light in their eyes, and they'd go like, they immediately know, like, you know, stop doing that, right?
Yeah.
So just shine it at people. But this one is a Streamlight ProTac 2L, little, you know, small little thing, very bright, very bright. I like it. It has a clip on it, you know, very cool piece of gear. But I do carry this thing, especially when I go camping. Uh, you know, not, I mean, when I go on walks, it has two different modes, right? It has like a low light mode. So when I go for a walk and it's too dark outside, I'll take this thing. But yeah, good piece of gear. I like it. You will be, again, hard pressed to find me without one of these in my car or somewhere nearby. Especially when I travel, I take that with me just in case there's like a power outage somewhere,
Yep.
or like I need to do something.
Yeah. So I keep this same. It's on my list too. It's funny that it's on my list. But I do have a specific criteria for flashlights in general. And again, I got this one out of necessity. I just needed a really good flashlight for not only for work, but I just wanted to have one around me in my bag because I'm always going for a flashlight. We have power outages here on a regular basis. I'm surprised we're not having one now. But one of the couple of key characteristics that I look for, and this one is it's called a Nebo Da Vinci 1000. So again, something you can get probably at your local Nex, maybe online somewhere. But it's got the very, it's lightweight, like aircraft aluminum. It's got a couple different modes like yours. It's got the strobe. It's got low and medium and high power. It's got a 6x zoom like kind of thing on the front that you can screw up and down to change the width of the light. And then two things that I really, really look for in any flashlight nowadays, especially probably going back a few years as well, is one, being able to charge the thing through USB. I wish this was USB-C, but it's not. But it still serves its purpose. And the second part of it is the actual kind of batteries that they use for the flashlights. Most of them use AA's, AAA's. Some use those lithium batteries. You can find lithium batteries that are rechargeable, but ones with these 18650 cells, these are basically, if you rip open a Tesla and rip open the battery bank on a Tesla, you'll find a whole bunch of these stacked side by side just to create the battery for like a Tesla or an electric vehicle or electric scooter. Same exact batteries. You can get them in different sizes. This one's like 2000 milliamps. I think I have a couple laying around that are like 4,000 or 5,000 milliamps, but they're all 3.7 volts. And these things take charge after charge after charge after charge, and they just work. They're really like tanks and pretty cheap to replace. But as far as battery life is concerned, if it doesn't have an 18650 battery in it, I really don't want to use it. That's for any light, pretty much.
No, that's good, man. I like that. It's 1860 battery, you say?
18650.
50 battery.
It's just a little bit bigger than a AA, lengthwise and girthwise. But you can find them in so many different variations of power levels that they use, and they're all 3.7 volts. It's just based on how many amps do you want it to have? 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 milliamps of power, which gives you the duration of usage. And this is literally like a single LED on the front of it. So this thing is super powerful. I think it's 1,000 lumens or something like that. It's why they call it the Da Vinci 1000.
The Da Vinci 1000.
Yeah.
I like that. I like it. Yeah, I've seen the stuff online where it's like these crazy looking, like on these advertisements, these crazy looking flashlights that'll shine an entire forest.
Yep.
You know, it's like 1 million lumens or some shit. I'm like, that might be overkill for what I need it for, right? I'm not trying to make, nighttime to daytime, but
and that's exactly right, homies. He said it. He hit the nail on the head right there. If you've ever vaped, you probably know what an 18650 is.
Don't vape, man. I had no idea. Don't vape. I went to they opened up a smoke shop a little ways down the road from me,
like cigars and stuff.
Yeah, well, like a vape shop, right? And it was in this area where they have different restaurants. So in between there, they opened up a smoke shop, and for some reason I was thinking like brisket. Oh shit, a place to get brisket and smoked meat. And they put it up. I was like, what is this? Just a bunch of vape pens. I was looking forward to the smoked meats. Let me show you the next thing that I carry with me. A lot of the times, not all the time, but most every day, right? When I go out, say you're going out to Walmart, right? Like I have my earbuds, right? These earbuds that I'm wearing right now are called J Labs. They're made in Carlsbad, California, like right up the road, right next to Camp Pendleton, California. I went with them because they're a local company, right? I'm hesitant. I had a pair of earbuds, AirPods, and one of them stopped working. So I'm like, you know what? These things are expensive. These things were pretty good. I think they were like $30, and then they connect. There's different modes and settings. I've had them for like 4 years, and they have not failed me yet. So I'm keeping them, and they come with this little case and all that stuff. Again, not sponsored or anything like that, just a good piece of gear that I use all the time. But I am very hesitant about going to places like Walmart or Home Depot or something like that, wearing something in my ear. Okay. I don't know how people do it. Like, I don't know how people walk around and live their daily life with their ears covered. Only because I like to be aware of my surroundings.
Yeah.
I like to know what is happening around me. And if I cannot hear because something's covering my ear, like an earbud or headphones, then that's potential danger for me, right? Or for those around me. So I don't like to wear those. So what I do wear when I go out are these. They're kind of like the Air Shocks, but I lost my Air Shocks. So I went to Amazon and I bought a pair of Tozos. They're kind of like that, but they just kind of go right over your ear, but it doesn't cover your ear canal. So I can still hear everything around me. Just pretty dang easy. Just like that. I can still hear everything around me. Pretty easy. But I wear these sometimes, listen to music, audiobooks, podcasts, and stuff like that when I do go out. For one, it's like it can be like a deterrent for people. Like, hey, maybe that guy doesn't want to engage in conversations. He's wearing earphones or something like that. And for two, I get to knock out part of my audiobook or part of a podcast while I'm doing some shopping, picking up tools or whatever at Home Depot or whatever I'm doing at Walmart. When I'm not wearing those, I usually wear something like this. This one I got this from Knox Gear. And this is a little external speaker. And the speaker's pointed up. So when I wear it here, you could be standing 5 feet in front of me and not really hear what's happening. But I can hear exactly what's happening because the speaker's pointed up. It serves as a microphone, as a speaker, all that stuff. And it has a little, a little magnet in the back. So if you don't want to clip it on your clothes, like so, or your chain, you can just use a magnet, whatever. But it's a good piece of gear. I'll wear it sometimes when I'm out in the morning. That way you have full awareness around you and you can still listen to your stuff. So good piece of gear.
Yeah.
I wear that all the time.
Speaking of Home Depot, one of my favorite stores, and I miss it so dearly because we just don't have it here. but there is a set of tools that I found in Home Depot, and I don't necessarily carry them in my backpack. I do have, generally speaking, a set in my car, a set in my office, a set in my garage. So anywhere that I'm generally going to be. And then I have like a bug out bag full of the essential tools that I might need if somebody calls and they're like stuck on the side of the road and something's broke. It's basically my go-to setup. But I'm sure everybody's heard of them. I don't know if everybody's a fanboy and like such an enthusiast of them as I am. But I do have quite a few, and I was so happy when I was able to ship all those things over here and not get flagged by customs. But the Ryobi toolkits. So basically,
there you go.
Drills. They have the little in Australia they call them DAC, and I've heard it so much that I don't even remember what they're called anymore. I think they're like micro impact wrenches, something like that. So they have those. They have full size impact wrenches. The batteries go anywhere from this little small one up to 4 or 5 or 6 amp hours. So it'll be a lot thicker. Just like the 18650 batteries, the thicker the battery, the more amp hours it has, the longer it lasts. I've literally got like the leaf blower. I've got multiple saws, multiple drilling and screwing and torquing things. What else? A bunch of lights. They have some really good lights as well, and they all work off the same exact batteries is what I love about them. The batteries are pretty heavy duty and pretty versatile for a whole lot of things. So I've got a ton of their stuff, and I was missing it for so long being over here without it, and the stuff was in storage in the States. But these things are pretty much my go-to EDC as far as taking care of not only stuff around the house, keeping my wife happy, but putting things together. Like I changed out my desk yesterday. My wife helped me move the desk back and forth, and I had to do some screwing underneath. And I immediately just grabbed this off the shelf that I keep it on in my office, and did what I needed to do. And you can get like the accessory kits with the different adapters and stuff where you can just pop these bits on and off. In combination with a thing called a Christmas tree bit, you can basically drill a hole in anything, any kind of material. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's steel or plastic or like whatever, you can just pop a hole in pretty much anything. So if you want to do some riveting or you need to make space to run a cable through something, you can do it pretty cleanly with a Christmas tree bit, which can get pricey on the end of one of these. These batteries are so good. I used to take it with me when I would do autocross. So I'd take like the impact wrench with the impact sockets, and I would swap out my tires and wheels and stuff when I did autocross. And I would literally be able to swap like 3 or 4 or 5 sets of tires off of a car and back onto a car and lock them down with the impact wrench on a single battery, single charge. So,
wow.
From that point, I was like, these things are amazing. These batteries are amazing. The company's pretty amazing as well. And I really happy. I'm sad that they don't have a lot of these over here, that they don't sell a lot of these tools over here, but you can still get them online and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, I'm actually in the market for one of those, a leaf blower and a weed whacker too, because I have one of those like lawn mowers, the Ryobi ones. So potentially getting a yeah, there you go.
That's my
getting some more stuff. Yeah. So the good thing with these batteries, and I have like some DeWalt tools.
Yep.
With drills and all that. The cool thing with those is I had a Dyson vacuum. Right, that the battery was dying because they only last like a year or something like that. Like the battery like doesn't hold charge very well.
Okay.
So there's a hack you could do with changing those out with like a 20 volt or maybe a 40 volt battery pack. It probably could work with the same thing that you just showed me there, the Ryobi one. You just plug it in, but there's like a little adapter that you buy on Amazon or something, and then you can use all these batteries, and they last a lot longer than what was it Dyson was selling along with their vacuum.
That's
so
actually
I'm
really
curious
good to know.
Yeah, I'm curious, John. I'd like to see you walk around Italy with a drill around your belt, as your everyday carry. I want to see a photo of that sometime.
If I could find the right size one and the right size of bits. So I do have one really cool tool that I don't have with me. It's downstairs, as well as another one that I want to mention in a little bit here. But there's a little bitty, tiny ratchet set that I have, and it's got a little keychain thing that holds like 10 different bits on it. So it's literally you can stick it in your pocket, and that thing is helped me out tremendously in so many different ways. I would love to carry a whole bunch of tools with me. I used to carry a bunch of stuff with me in my backpack, and now I don't generally try to weigh myself down with a bunch of stuff. I like to keep whatever's in my pockets. That's why I still wear cargo pants with cargo pockets. I have
Not
to for
because
work
you're
either
10.
way. No, I have to for work either way. So I figure if I'm gonna do it, I might as well use the pockets to their full abilities. But
Yeah,
yeah,
why not?
yeah. If I could find the right size power tool like that, I would carry it with me every single day.
Yeah. And I think what's his name? Homies. I like that. Homies 86. Do not cheap out on a step down bit. Cheap ones get dull way too fast. Big fan of buy it once. Yeah. I am also a big fan of there's a movement out there. Not a movement, but like a group of folks that I think they have it on Reddit. There's YouTube videos on it. It's buy it for life. Buy it for life. It goes with shoes. You know, like usually it's like the Red Wings or something like that with the Goodyear welt that you can get it replaced. You know, like good high quality steel or high quality carbon steel knives, or you know, something of worth where you're not cheaping out. You're paying a little bit more for it up front, but for good reason because it's gonna stand the test of time.
Yeah.
So I like that. Let me see what do I carry here. I do take this with me a lot of places. I don't always use it, but I like having it there. And it is the DJI Action 5 camera. I take it with me. I have here. I bought some of these things, and these are like adapters for the bottom of the camera, and I have them set up in my car for maybe someday I want to record something, and I don't always post up the stuff that I put up. You know, a lot of stuff I record, just ideas, thoughts, lessons, and things like that. And I put it on another channel I have. It's on private, and it's just kind of like for my kids, right? For me, for my kids, stuff like that. Not everything I do has to be put out on YouTube or on social media or anything like that. Not everything I think about, you know, you need a Polaroid. Hell no, man. What year is this? No, but this thing, man, they are. I say that, but I have a fucking Polaroid in my garage that is just sitting there. I have it on eBay. But yeah, this little piece of gear, man, it is good, great quality. I like having it always charged and ready to go. I don't like recording on my phone. I've recorded on my phone before, and then I get like text messages and a call randomly, so it just like takes over the recording, and I'm like, oh crap, and then I lose focus. And this thing right here, you know, I'll just put my phone on silent. I'll go on a hike, I'll go on a walk, I'll be sitting in the car while I'm driving, hands free, right? And I'll just record myself. The audio is amazing on this thing, and it's a seamless sync from here to the phone, so I can just throw it on there. And the DJI app is amazing when it comes to like you know, editing and you know, filters and all that stuff. So pretty good piece of gear. I'm glad I bought this. I used to have a GoPro, and to be honest, the GoPro quality is subpar compared to this. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. If you give me 2 minutes, I'm going to be right back. I just got to run out real quick, and I'll be right back.
Yeah, do your thing, man.
Feel free to jump into the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see what else I got here. Oh gosh, what I got this. This is something I usually take with me everywhere I go. This is a Yeti cup. It was given to me by the contracting company I worked for when I was a contractor with Surface Warfare. They sent me this goodie box full of stuff like lanyard, socks, all that good stuff. So hydrate or die, right, as they say. So I always find that I bring this with me. Here, let me put this on here. We'll bring John on in a second here. I find that I always bring this with me anywhere I go. Just ice water. That's all it is. I feel kind of lost without it. So Curious, put it in the comments if you have carried something every day with you, either knowingly or unknowingly. Now that we're putting up this video, maybe you now realize, hey, look, I actually carry this stuff with me everywhere I go. Put it in the comments. Let me know what it is that you're carrying on a daily basis. Let me see. Navy Cop says, I've heard the GoPro has really dropped in the last version or two. Yeah, I was looking at buying the GoPro again, but it was a toss-up, and I purchased both of them. I ended up returning the GoPro, and I went with the Action Pro 5. Pretty good piece of gear. I like it. And this is off of my DJI Osmo Pocket 3. So this little tripod here, good piece of gear. I like it. Audio is awesome. And then if you need to sit it somewhere, bam, easy. So let's get John back in here real quick.
What up?
There we go.
Sorry about that. Had to go see a
all
man
good.
about a horse real quick.
Yeah, that was the quickest bathroom break I've ever seen.
There you go, man. We got a show to do here. Can't keep the people waiting.
Hey, you know what? When in need, just throw on some Depends, dude. Then you never have to get up.
Or get me one of those Gatorade bottles or something. That'd be
That's
pretty
it. Take it back deployment style. Just piss in a bottle and just keep it by the door because you don't want to go outside in the middle of the night.
cool. Too many camel spiders out there. I don't want to mess with.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you what, John, what I keep in the car a lot is paracord. I've always kept that in the back of the car. Paracord, multiple uses, ton of stuff. To tie things down, I had like my kids' baseball gear in the back at one point. It was just moving around, so I just tied the shit together, and I'm like, you know what? Now it's not moving around in the back, kind of,
right.
Bats and stuff going back and forth and all that. So paracord is a good piece of gear. You can actually find it. I found a ton of paracord at the dollar store. It's probably not like the best quality, but it does the job. At the dollar store. They say it's a dollar store, but it wasn't $1. It was like $5 for this huge spool. But yeah, dollar store is even getting expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, I did not write that one down, but that's definitely a good one, and it's something I do keep on me. I keep it here. I keep it in the car. I keep that stuff on me at all times because you never know when you need to use it. Or if you get bored, you want to make a bracelet, then you can sit down and make a bracelet. Works
yeah, you
multiple
could.
ways.
You could. So the last thing I brought up was the a water bottle. So I go between my Hydro Flask with the top and then a Yeti cup like this. And this one was gifted to me by my old company that I was doing surface warfare with. And yeah, good. Just it keeps it cold. It's just ice water in here, but I always take a bottle of water with me anywhere I go. Like I don't know why. I feel like I'm going to be I need to be hydrated at all times, but it's in the brain.
Yeah, and when it comes to water, I definitely carry a water bottle around with me. The one thing I do have an issue with water is whenever I'm outside and it's raining. Like today, it's raining. It's been supposed to be raining all this week, so we haven't had any rain. The weather's been really kind of nice and strangely nice for quite some time, and now it's all coming in one big wave. So it started raining a couple of days ago. It's been raining basically on and off. It's supposed to rain continuing through this week. The one issue I have is when I'm outside in the rain, especially here, because puddles will form and it'll get pretty bad, is walking around and getting wet feet by stepping in a puddle that's maybe a little bit deeper than I thought it was, or just generally walking through grass or whatever. I've kind of figured out how to solve that problem because it also had the issue when I was riding on the bike. If it would rain and I was on the bike, my feet would get wet or whatever else, and it would be really annoying. So I did do a little bit of research and I found a company called Vessi, V-E-S-I, and they make, V-E-S-S-I, 2 S's. I always mess it up. But they make 100% waterproof footwear. And the interesting thing about it is that their stuff is not really so super the ones. Yeah, it's the ones that I bought are pretty low key, but they do have various versions, high tops, low tops. They have more casual versions. They've got more sporty versions, but they make them in white, they make them in black, brown, blue, like all kinds of different colors as well. But these things are literally like you can stick it in a puddle up to the collar of the shoe, and your foot will not get wet. And that for me is an amazing piece of technology. I don't know how good it'll last forever because of the amount of heat exposure and the extreme temperatures that it's going to go through in the summer. Plus, it's a little bit harder if you got like feet like mine that like sweat a lot. It doesn't allow your foot to breathe so well. But
Yeah,
I will
that's what I
say
was gonna ask.
definitely, yeah, definitely for the waterproof purposes, like it's waterproof material, and it's even mesh on the top, which is kind of weird. I can understand the leather part being waterproof, but the mesh itself is also waterproof, and the mesh is where that allows it to breathe a little bit. But yeah, 100% waterproof. I've definitely stuck my foot inside of a puddle up to the collar of the shoe, and dry feet. Super
Oh
interesting.
yeah, I like it. Now couple that with some waterproof socks. If you ever tried some of those,
I have not.
not the most comfortable, but yeah, they have them, waterproof socks. For some reason, people were buying those when I was going through the TBS officer training, like the basic school, and yeah, I felt them. I'm like, yeah, I don't know that I want to walk around with these on. And they felt like canvas almost, you know.
Yeah.
I'd rather just put a bag over my feet or something. But you know, either way, your feet are not breathing. So
Yeah.
but yeah, that's a good piece of gear, man. I like that. And then somebody had brought up on here. Let me see. Tony Slaughter brought up 100-mile-an-hour tape. So I recall that.
Great.
And something that I do keep. It's in my toolbox for some reason. I don't really keep it around. It's not like my EDC, but it should become my EDC. I have a lighter, just a little lighter, right, with duct tape wrapped around it.
Okay.
Just in case I need it, right? I don't know. I was going through my toolbox and I remember that I had that in there. You know, it was like a brand new lighter, just put it in there. I mean, it's useful, right? You need tape. You're going to need a lighter at some point in time. I should probably keep that in my car. But thank you for the reminder, Tony Slaughter and Homies as well. Homies 86.
Yeah, that's a
Awesome.
great thing to throw out there. It's actually one of the cheapest and when the shit hits the fan kind of things that you would definitely want to have with you no matter what.
Yeah.
But they're also useful in a multitude of situations. Like I tend to keep lighters in every single spot, one in my bag, one in my car, one on the bike, one in my office. Like I keep them on me. Somebody actually came up to me the other day and was like, "Hey, you have a lighter?" I was like, "Yeah, of course." I gave them the lighter. They wanted to borrow it overnight or whatever. I was like, "Don't worry about it. I got 2 more sitting in my backpack. I got a couple in there." So
They wanted to borrow a lighter overnight.
yeah, they were going to borrow it for something. They were setting up some candles or something for some Christmas thing.
I was like, where do you live, in the apocalypse, dude?
So they were like, well, I was getting ready to leave and I was like, I'm not going to stick around for an hour or whatever, whatever you need it for. So just keep it and I'll get it from you tomorrow or the next day or whatever. So
yeah.
there's somebody I knew. So yeah, lighter is definitely a great thing to have because if you do hit one of those situations where it's shit hit the fan, then that's probably one of the things that a knife, you know, a couple of those things, some 100-mile-an-hour tape and some paracord, probably 4 of the top things I would want to have on me if something really apocalyptic happened. But for everyday use, it's nice to have as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm curious now, like these are all very good things to have, like EDCs, like for survival, you know, for maybe you might need them. Like you talked about your iPad, which is a very good thing to have for going from military to civilian.
Yep.
I'm curious what else like there might be out there that we carry that we don't, I guess, unconsciously think of, you know, have on our person that maybe we didn't carry while we were in the military that now we do carry while civilians. Is there anything that you can think of?
I mean, the last couple things on my list are not even related.
Aside from your DD-214, I mean, I know you always carry that on.
Got
in your
that
back
tattooed
pocket.
on my back, so you know,
on your chesticles.
Yeah, on my chesticles. Yeah, actually, the last couple things that I have on my list are not even related to that kind of stuff. And civilian world wise that I carry that I didn't carry every single day. Not really. Like I'm pretty minimalist either way with my carry
Mhm.
stuff, unless I'm taking my camera bag with all my cameras and lenses and crap in it. But generally speaking, I try to keep just paper, pens, a lighter, a knife. I don't keep 550 cord in my backpack, which I probably should just roll some up and put it in there because I do have tons of it laying around here. I buy it in multiple colors for my wife. She uses it for different stuff as well. But no, there's nothing I can really think of that I do now in civilian life that I didn't do in uniform. Starting with that belt, right? That web belt
Oh,
is a direct carryover from
yeah.
multiple years in service.
No, that's good. That's
Insurance card.
insurance card. I'll tell you what, man. For some folks out there, a good piece of EDC would be freaking deodorant, man. I've been around Walmart and shit, and I got a nose too, so I'm like, deodorant should be a fucking EDC, folks.
Oh, that's crazy.
Damn.
I
So
do
what
want
else you got,
to,
man?
yeah. So let me jump into let me check my little checklist and see if it's for sure my last couple things. So one thing I don't have, and I wish I would have grabbed it and brought it with me, but I forgot to grab it, is a air pump / backup battery / flashlight device.
Yeah.
I just picked up, and it was in combination with another thing that I could throw on as a bonus on my list. Hopefully it's in here. If it's not, then I don't know where it is.
So I think I know what you're talking about. I have, it's not an air pump one,
Yeah.
but I have one for every one of my cars. It is a flashlight, charger, and car jump starter.
Okay.
So I purchased one for every one of my cars. You charge it overnight, throw it in the car. It has saved my behind when my car battery is going bad. My daughter's car battery is going bad in her car. And she's like, she was stuck somewhere. And I'm like, hey, look, I got your thing under the seat. Take it out, connect one to the frame, a ground, and then connect the other one to the red and press go. And then you just hear a little pop, 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 pop. That means it's like trying to jumpstart the thing. And sure enough, started right up. I was on the phone with her. So good piece of gear. If you haven't already thought of that, or anybody out there, one of those little car jump starters. It was like $30-$40 on Amazon.
They're
pretty
fairly cheap. The one that I got, and then I was specifically looking for something to replace canned air, because we use canned air for a multitude of things, whether it's cleaning keyboards or cleaning out whatever. So I was looking for a device that could replace canned air, because I noticed that also on the bike, if it gets wet or if I need to wash it or whatever, I can use this thing to blow off. So I found one of these little battery powered high power air blowers, and it's just a little handheld thing, sticks in your backpack. You can charge it with USB-C. The battery life's really good. It's got different nozzles you can put on it. Thing is super, super powerful. So you can literally like blow all the wetness off of your car or whatever. If something gets wet, you can blow the water off of it. You can clean keyboards. We cleaned out the heating things in our house, the radiators in our house yesterday with this thing, and blew all the crap out of there. And that came in combination with one of these little battery bank devices that had the air pump thing built into it, because I wanted to keep one on the bike. So I wanted a portable one, something that's small I could take with me, and it also serves as a battery, and it's got a LED light on it. I think all together it was like $75 or $80 for both. So definitely something to have, nice to have if you get like a low air in your tires as well, right? If it had the charging thing to give you the car jump, that would be even better, I would say. But I don't think I've seen one that has all those features all together.
Yeah, I haven't seen one like that. I mean, it just so happened that I saw this one. I came across it. I like to be kind of prepped and have stuff in the car just in case I need it. So,
same.
And being that my daughter, recently started driving and got her car, I'm like, you know what, I'd like for her to have something like that in there.
Yeah.
So that was a big reason for it. And then I figured, just buy all three of them, all the cars.
Yeah, one
of these. But yeah, man, that I think that covers from my side, man. I'm like, I don't like to carry too much stuff around, but I will normally have some sort of a writing utensil or something like that, and a knife and a watch on me most times. So that's probably like my most used piece of gear right there.
Yeah.
Um,
I do have two things left, and they're more for my mental health and well-being more
yeah.
than anything else. And these are things that I put hands on every single day.
Mhm.
And they would fall into my kind of everyday carry, um, even though I don't
Sure.
keep them on me every single day.
Mhm.
But two things I would recommend, and I know we're in the holiday season. It's December right now as of time of recording. We've put it out there multiple times over the last month and a half, 2 months, to do buddy checks, check in with your folks,
Right.
all your people, to make sure they're good. If somebody needs something, reach out, because suicide rates and things like that tend to go up in the winter months. So if you're in the States, if you're somewhere where it's winter, if you're in Australia, you're having summer right now, so it's fine. Don't worry. Um, but two things. One I'll bring up is something that I've developed over the last few years, and I finally recently I've actually bought a couple. We've mentioned knives multiple times, and we might have even mentioned kitchen knives. But if you have the means, and there's ways that you can get these without spending an arm and a leg, because I know some of these knives cost a ton of money, because they're fancy and they've got Damascus steel and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I recently picked this up about a year ago in Naples. Just happened to be walking by, saw a knife shop, and I'm a knife guy either way. So I've got a ton of really nice kitchen knives. I got multiple knives. My wife is yelling at me because I have so many knives in there, for different purposes. But this little knife that I picked up right here is just a little small kitchen
Yeah.
knife. Comes with a really nice wooden sheath that you can just stick the
Mhm.
knife in. And
I
the
like that.
reason why I like this knife so much is it's my go-to knife. Is I do a lot of chopping and cutting and dicing and stuff like that. And for me, mentally, that kind of fine detailed work, really allows me to decompress my brain a little bit.
Mhm.
Of course, it's leading into cooking, which is then leading into conversations. It's leading into sitting down, having a meal, spending time with my wife and the animals or whoever else happens to be here at the house. But I really enjoy the art of cutting. And I'm not a chef. I wasn't born a chef. I wasn't born somebody who, grew up in the kitchen and learned how to do all this stuff. I didn't go to culinary arts school. But I did pick up the basic knife skills, which you can pick up pretty much anywhere on the internet. And once you pick those basic knife skills up, it then becomes fun. It doesn't become a chore anymore. So then you start to get creative and start to want to chop more things and prep things and cut things up and freeze them and all that good stuff. Onions and carrots and celery and all those kind of things that you would want to have cut, or you have to cut beforehand. You can cut them and prep them. But it just takes a little bit extra time out of my day to keep it sharp. I got to spend time to sharpen it. So that's a little bit more detail work, on my part. But again, that all these little detail work things kind of sharpen my senses, and it also gives me a sense of like relief and
Yeah.
de-stressing from the day. I think we get that when we write things down in notebooks. That's why we carry notebooks and write down a lot of stuff and take notes and write journals.
That's
Um,
right.
some of these little detailed things that we do in our daily lives, I feel like those things are things that help us decompress, de-stress, to take our minds off of things and have a little fun and enjoyment. It might not be knives and chopping things, but for my very last thing, and I've mentioned this a million times, and I literally just picked up like a 25-gallon tote full of random Lego blocks. But about an hour and a half before we started recording, me and my wife were sitting down and just sorting them out and putting them into their specific piles of, these are these bricks, these are these bricks, these are that bricks. Um, if you're not into Legos, but you're into just using your hands and getting in some detail work, that's kind of fun. And these things are kind of fun because no matter how old you are, like, you're gonna find a little Lego person that matches something that you remember from your childhood, whether it was,
Mhm.
Star Wars or anything else. Um, just super fun to dig through, and I get enjoyment out of it to dig through these things and take the pieces apart, and then also building Lego sets as well. It's kind of my therapy, my
Yep.
personal therapy session for when I've got stress, when things are going a little crazy and I need to de-stress. Those are a couple things that I reach to, is cutting in the kitchen and Legos, whether that's sorting Legos out, putting them in bins, putting them in bags. Plus, if you get some good hauls, like you could actually flip a lot of these things on eBay for a pretty good price and make a lot
Yeah.
of your money back.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up, the whole mental health thing, man. Because I do similar to you. I like the knives. Excuse me. I like the knives, and I like cutting stuff myself, right? Something about it just gives me pleasure. And specifically, I go in the backyard. I have a fire pit, and I like whittling wood. It's been my thing for many years, on and off. But I'll sit there and just, I got a big tree in the backyard. I'll cut some of the branches off, and some of the branches that are like falling on, dead on the floor or whatever, and I'll whittle something out of those. And it's fun. It's a way to sit around the fire with my kids, my boys, and
Yep.
and talk to them about their day, and they enjoy it too, because they're like, cutting away, and we're just whatever, just talking. It's a good way to connect with folks, and I find that it's a de-stressor for me as well. And then after a while, you're whittling and you come up with something. I don't really have a plan at first. Like I was I was gonna whittle. Gosh, it was like this thing I saw online. It was like a wizard, whatever, on the stick, and it ended up being a goat hoof. So it's fucking random, right? But that's what it is. I'm like, okay, this thing looks like it sucks. Let me just transition over to a goat hoof, because it's looking more like a fucking goat hoof than anything. So that's what it is. But I like it. It's a de-stressor. I enjoy it. I enjoy it. So similar to what you mentioned.
Yeah.
It's been a good combo, man. I like seeing the stuff in the comments. Folks putting stuff on there.
Yeah.
I like hearing from your side, your perspective on what you carry. Being able to share a little glimpse into my life and what I carry on a daily basis here. So you can tell a lot from a person from what they have in their pockets every single day. And I appreciate it, John, man. It's giving me a little glimpse into you as a person, and folks in there in the comments, you as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's the holiday season. It's time to share and break bread with folks and spend time with the people you care about. And I personally, like, I know you do feel the same kind of way about this. The folks that are in the comments, the folks that are watching and listening and paying attention and hitting us with some. I mean, I've learned a few things today that I didn't know existed, so I've added them to my little list of things to check out after the fact, like the Silcox key that somebody had mentioned in the comments. I looked that up, and that's kind of like a multi-tool kind of thing. A lot of great back and forth today, and I really enjoy that. And I, again, like to open up and share a little bit, and also learn from you about the kind of things that you like. It seems like we crossed over in a lot of things, as far as flashlights and knives and pens and paper and stuff like that. So
Absolutely.
yeah, it's always good to sit down and have conversations. That's kind of why we do this stuff, right? To get to
Yeah.
know people a little bit better, open up
Yep.
the conversation and talk about stuff to potentially help people in their journeys into civilian life. It doesn't have to be all like do all the paperwork and check all the boxes. Like, have a little bit of fun along the way too. And if you are interested in letting us know in the comments beyond what's already been said, feel free to drop those comments in there even after we're done recording. Sure, it'll help people out.
Absolutely. And, thank you all for sticking with us. If you want more information, please consider liking, subscribing to the channels. I know we're streaming to everywhere right now.
Yep.
Military Retirement Podcast, Green Logbook, on not Instagram, on LinkedIn, Facebook, all these places. So all good stuff. Make sure you do your buddy checks, check on a buddy this holiday season. The holidays are not all fun and games for everyone, as I've come to find out really during this group that I'm doing at the VA. So it's not all fun and games for everyone. Some people are struggling out there. So make sure you do a buddy check. Just call somebody, text somebody, let them know that you give a crap about them. And you can find us on info@militaryretirementpodcast.com if you want to send us an email. If you have any good nonprofits that maybe should be on our radar, please shoot us an email, let us know. And to answer your question there, what was it? Homies, he's looking for a good, solid metal pen that takes refills. Might I suggest the Kaweco pens? This was a brass pen that I use here. It's not that big, right? But it is, solid. So definitely you can check that out. And it takes different refills as well. So I'll leave you with that one, man. I should probably do another video on pens and stuff because I have a ton of them here, that like drawers full of pens. But that's a good video for another time.
Yep.
But with that, man, John, thank you for sticking with me, man, and going over your EDCs. Thank you, everybody, in the comments.
Appreciate everybody, and happy holidays to you guys. Enjoy this week. If you got time off, take the time off. Reconnect with the people you love. Be safe, and maybe Santa or whomever else might visit you and drop some gifts off in your stocking.
Big time. All right.
We'll see you all next week.
The Military Retirement Podcast out here.
Out here.